Welcome back and thanks for your company today. There is new hope this morning for Australians suffering from frontotemporal dementia, a progressive form of the disease commonly found in young people, with a world-first dementia drug to be trialled in Melbourne.
To discuss this, bring in Dr. Helena, who is in Nashville, USA this morning. Helena, great to see you again. A lot of viewers will probably, be familiar maybe with the term frontotemporal dementia. This is because that's Bruce Willis's diagnosis. So tell us how this disease manifests in patients.
Well, frontotemporal dementia is actually a group of dementias. They're responsible for about 10% of all dementias, so called because they involve the frontal or the temporal lobes of the brain. And some signs can include, usually it's personality and behaviour changes. They start to act inappropriately or impulsively. They might appear selfish, unsympathetic, start to neglect personal hygiene. They overeat, they lose motivation. So it's really broad and it's very behavioural. You can also have a language subtype where you have problems with language. You start to speak more slowly. You're struggling to make the right sounds. When you say a word, you get your words in the wrong order. You're using words incorrectly. Or it could just be really vague things like you're getting distracted easily. You're struggling with planning and organisation. As for memory problems, which is what most people associate with dementia, they tend to come much later on, unlike Alzheimer's where it might be one of the primary symptoms. And it's equally common in women and men, and it's often underdiagnosed because of the fact that it happens so early. At the age of 35, which is when some of them can start, dementia's don't usually cross a doctor's radar at that age.
So how do you know?
And it's often mistaken for depression, anxiety.
So how do you know if you are at risk? Is there a genetic link?
In some cases, yes. So if you have a family member who has it, you could be at increased risk. And so far, 3 genes have been linked to the condition, but then they're not normally tested for. So yes, if you have a family member, it may increase your risk, but not necessarily.
So tell us about this Melbourne drug trial.
This is really exciting. The great news is that the drug trial is based on a non-toxic, naturally occurring compound called sodium selenate, and it targets the buildup of an abnormal protein called tau, and it actually clears tau from the brain, and that protein is linked to about half of all frontotemporal dementia cases.
Wow.
It's taken as a pill 3 times a day, and preclinical trials have found that it not only protected mice from the disease, but it actually reversed some of the symptoms.
Incredible.
The trial is going to be year-long, and it's going to focus on the behavioural variant, the one I talked about first, where people have behaviour changes. They need 120 patients, half will receive placebo. And it's available right now for eligible patients.
Wow.
And they're still recruiting people.
All right, that is very encouraging news in that space this morning. Helena, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for joining us.